Drives and kicks, shot clock at 3. Mid-range jumper, Finney-Smith, no good. Rebounded by George. Offensive foul was called against Tim Hardaway, who's been absolutely phenomenal through games 1 and 2. George goes at Doncic, it won't fall, and Luka with the rebound, who's shooting almost 70% from behind the arc in the series. Finally, the Clippers on the board.
On Boban at the start of the game because he knew what he was going to be doing to Zubac. That's just disrespectful.
There's Paul George in the paint with the basket, his second field goal. Paul George from about 18 feet off the heel. Offensive rebound, Leonard. And Kawhi with his first official field goal attempt of the game. He was fouled earlier on a call against Dallas in game 2. 9 straight points here by the Clippers. Paul George makes it 11 in a row, and they got it down to single digits. Hardaway with the miss. Again, this is coming here, this run with Luka Doncic on the bench. Paul George's 3, good, and it's a 14-0 run by LA.
Clippers had a big run to close the first quarter after Dallas took a 19-point lead. Paul George, kick out pass, Pat Beverly after Luka closed out. Beverly drives and lays it in, 1-point game.
Check that second foul on Rondo, so both Rondo and Kawhi Leonard with 2 personal fouls apiece. Here's Doncic against Beverly, comes up short on the 3. George with the clear. George in the paint, pull-up jumper is good from about 10 feet. That was sweet. Shooting the ball in this series, 0 for 2 from 3 in this game, and he's 2 for 13 in this series from 3 after being the second best three-point shooter during the regular season. Full move, but he missed the shot. Clippers on the drive, it's Paul George and LA back.
Jokic, when they go out the game, the offense can really kind of slip a little bit. So, these are opportunities for the Clippers to get going.
Reserves in the entire NBA this year. And he's got championship experience in college, won 2 titles at Villanova. George takes it to the rim this time. And Paul George starting to heat up.
But you can't give up a wide open 3 off a made layup. And that's what just happened there.
Clippers come right back. Paul George with 20 points, 9 of 11 from the floor. A lot of contact. Offensive foul is called here on the screen as George collided with Kleba on the 3. Transition opportunity, 3-on-2 for the Clippers. George, great pass to Leonard for the dunk. Kawhi 7 of 7 from the floor.
I believe that is the formula for this Clippers team to get back in this series.
Clippers trying to avoid an 0-3 hole. Paul George again.
Okay.
What happens to Kawhi Leonard going forward? He can opt out. He can become a free agent. Would he leave the Clippers if they can't get past Dallas in the first round after that disappointing exit?
10 for 13 and 9 for 10. That's just not going to cut it on the defensive end, especially since the Clippers have settled in on the defensive end.
It's Richard Jefferson. I'm Dave Pasch. This is game 3. 3 free throws for George, his first attempts of the game. Let's bring in George Sedano, who's in the arena in Dallas. George?
Our own Jalen Rose earlier saying it's the biggest game in Clipper history tonight. And as you guys alluded to earlier, LA is trying to be only the 5th team in NBA history. By comparison, the Mavs only have 234, and if you remove J.J. Redick's 110 games, as he's been inactive.
Career playoff games. 1-point lead for the Clippers. More into the lane, and a tough shot goes on the fall away. There's Doncic putting it on the floor, getting into the lane. Good deflection there, Paul George, and the save to Leonard. Now Batum in transition with the lob pass. Morris blew the layup. Meanwhile, Paul George at the line. He's had a great night, in particular in Game 7 against Denver last year. But he has had a great Game 3. Kawhi Leonard is 10 of 11 from the floor. He's 10 of 11. George is 10 of 14. Luka's 12 of 18. Deep 3, Doncic, no. Clippers trying to get back in the series. Game 4 is Sunday. Game 5, if there is one, would be back in LA on Wednesday. Batum. At some point, the Mavs have got to get an easy basket. Their shots are coming from deep. They're not shooting it well at all from 2. Kleba misses. Contact underneath. And a Clipper foul.
Look, and you were talking about it, Dave. They've got to get some easy buckets because they are just only really shooting threes here. But
Cauley-Stein driving it, blocking foul, and score the baskets.
That's 4 fouls on Paul.
Things get testy, or have gotten testy thus far. How do you kind of keep your team in the right frame of mind here as we try to wrap this up?
Trailing this series 2-0. Paul George back on the floor, and a rare miss tonight, just his 5th from the field. He has 20.
This is where the Dallas Mavericks have an opportunity to regain this lead, but they haven't fared very well when Luka is on the bench.
Missed there by Richardson. Here's Brunson. They go to Porzingis. He's been quiet. The 6 shot attempts, 8 points for Porzingis, working against the smaller Jackson. Can't hit the jumper, and Paul George with the rebound. Behind the back, George. What a great move, but he can't pay it off. Missed the 3. The year they drafted Luka Doncic, he was the 33rd overall pick. 3rd of round 2. Doncic, the 3rd pick in round 1 by Atlanta, and then traded as Paul George hits the short jumper, giving him 29 points.
By himself, the shot's not being challenged. Kind of feel like it's going down every time.
Doncic to Porzingis. Forces up the shot. Offline. Nothing but white shirts inside.
Critical missed free throws here in the 4th by Doncic. The lead is 10 for the Clippers. 2.5 to go.